Hello there. My name is Crystal, and welcome to some more of your meditation basics. Today we are going to touch briefly on things like mantras, music, malas, and guided journeys. I did the smart thing this time, and I prepared some notes just so that I could stay on course. The last video that I did, which is, of course, the first one on the meditation, was pretty much on the fly. And that was basically because a lot of what was discussed was things that you can actually do on the fly. One of the benefits of meditation, of course, is relaxing and de-stressing. And anytime that you find yourself in a very stressful situation, you can take just a few minutes to stop and breathe and calm and refocus. And that helps a great deal with reducing stress and anxiety. Now, today, one of the reasons why, of course, I've got the notes here is because we're going to discuss meditation that takes a little bit more preparation. This is when you have the time and the opportunity to go into your quiet space and really focus on your goal for that particular meditation. Now, it's always good to get into a routine, a meditation routine, where you are taking the time to do a meditation at the same time every day. One of the most useful pieces of advice that I had gotten as far as scheduling meditation is first thing in the morning before you do anything else. The abbreviation is RPM, Rise, P, Meditate, which I found, of course, very amusing, but still, it seemed to resonate with me because it seems to be the most convenient time to just sit and meditate. What's the first thing you do when you get up in the morning? You head to the bathroom, you take your pee, and then, of course, you come back and you do whatever you do to get dressed and get ready for your day, kind of thing. But the best thing to do is actually to take that little time out to meditate for a few minutes because it helps to set the tone for the day. It helps to actually wake you up a little bit and get you focused. But there's no real hard and fast rules when it comes to taking the time out for a meditation. That's just one of the best times. You can set it for your lunch hour if you're in a situation where you're extraordinarily busy and the only real break that you have is, of course, your lunch break. You can do it after supper. If you're one of these people who finds that your evening is nice and calm and quiet, and the meditation that you're using helps you decompress. You can also do meditating before you go to bed. The thing that you want to remember, though, when you're doing an evening meditation before bedtime, you don't want to be doing an meditation that is designed to be energizing, because then you're going to be just a little wired and you won't be able to go to sleep very easily. So if you're going to do an evening meditation right before you go to bed, you want to be doing one that is designed for very restful sleep. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is mantras. Now, mantras are basically little phrases that you repeat over and over again during your meditation. And they have a couple of different purposes. One, of course, is to provide you with some kind of focus. I'm going to use as an example to begin with here one of the simplest mantras that I'm aware of, which is called So Hum. Its literal translation is I am. So you're just basically affirming your existence. I am. When it comes to mantras, as I said, they help you provide for you a focus, but quite often they are purpose driven as well. You can use affirmations for your meditation as well. If you're finding that there is a character flaw that you are uncomfortable with, that you want to work on, like say for example, you are always late, you can choose a mantra that says, I am always on time, just as something very basic and very simple. Okay? Because, like I said before, I'm all about keeping it simple. So let's start here with the So Hum. Now you have the option of repeating your mantra just in your mind. So the way that the So Hum works is you say the So on the inhale, you say the hum on the exhale. So obviously when you're repeating it in your mind, you're not really saying anything. It's here in your mind. But you also have the option of actually saying it and repeating it out loud as well. Some people find that the additional vibration of using your voice kicks it up a notch. But what's most important is you do what makes you comfortable, because this is all about you and all about you being comfortable with your meditation practice. And that's another issue as well that needs to be addressed, is you need to be comfortable. Now, unless you're trying to put yourself to sleep, when you're meditating, you want to be in a comfortable sitting position. Because if you are uncomfortable, in pain, or anything like that, your meditation experience is not going to be a good one, and your chances are you're not going to want to do it again. So you want to find yourself in a comfortable position so that body parts aren't going to sleep, so that your temperature is comfortable, so that you're not in a position where something's going to cramp up on you. Okay? And there are some people who like to suggest, for your hands, just having them sitting on your lap, feet uncrossed, whatever is going to be the most comfortable for you. So you get in your comfortable position. You want to take some nice cleansing breaths before you start. In through the nose, out through the mouth. What I like to say when you're doing these nice cleansing breaths is to visualize taking in some nice, clean, fresh air. And on the exhale, releasing all the crap. Releasing your stress. Releasing any toxic energy that you may be clinging on to. Just at least 3 nice deep breaths. Now, if you're just winging it, that's great. You do it until you feel that, you've got the goal accomplished. But one thing that you might want to do that makes things a little bit easier And especially for somebody like me who has absolutely no concept of time whatsoever, you might want to set a timer. Now, when you're setting a timer, you don't want to be setting something that is going to have a shocking sound, like the alarm bells kind of idea, or any hard rock, or like my son likes to use for his alarm clock in the morning, death metal. That's not going to be good because you don't want to be jarred out of your meditation. What you want is something nice and gentle. For myself, for my timer, I've chosen this one. I'm hoping you can hear that. Um, it's chimes. It's called chimes. And it's, for my point of view, it's really great because it's that nice, gentle sound. For my alarm clock, I have little birdies chirping, and that's a nice way to wake up, at least from my point of view. But it also would work very, very well for your timer. So you want to set your timer for however long you want to sit and meditate, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 20 minutes, anywheres in that time frame. You want to start like with a minimum of 5 minutes and go up to at least 20 minutes. That's a good range to at least start with. Okay. So once you've got your timer set up with a nice little way to bring you out of the meditation, okay, you're going to be sitting in your comfortable position. It's recommended that you do have your eyes closed because that at least reduces any more of the stimulus, because your focus wants to be on your mantra. So as you sit in your comfortable position, you've taken your nice cleansing breaths. And depending on whether you're going to repeat it quietly in your mind or whether you're going to vocalize it, you set your timer, you begin your meditation with the inhale. So, hum. So, hum. So, hum. So, hum. Now, obviously, when you're breathing and you're repeating the mantra with the so on the inhale and the hum on the exhale, that works better if you're repeating it in your mind. Because as you know, we vocalize through the exhale. Yes, you could do so, but that's not very comfortable and it's not very productive. So if you're going to repeat it out loud, so, hum, so, hum, so. While you're repeating your mantra, your body and your mind will automatically resonate with the mantra. Because remember, everything is energy. The mantra provides an energy vibration that your mind, body, and spirit will resonate with. And even if you're not consciously thinking about the meaning of your mantra, you will resonate with it because your mind, body, and soul recognizes it. So continue with your meditation until your timer goes off. Once your timer goes off, obviously you want to shut it off. But you want to just sit restfully for a few seconds, for a minute, just inhaling and exhaling. And when you feel ready, then open your eyes. Now, one practice that was recommended to me that actually feels pretty good is before you open your eyes, rub your hands together and place them over your eyes. And what that's going to do is that's going to warm up your eyes and warm up your face, but you're also putting some nice comforting energy into your eyes so that when you open your eyes, it's not such a shock when you've got, the bright light kind of idea. Yes, there's that sudden, change from the darkness to the light, but it doesn't, like personally, I find it doesn't feel so uncomfortable and so shocking when you do it that way. So, and for myself as well, I have a tendency to have very, very dry eyes. I really should be using eye drops, but I've also found that it's more comfortable for the dryness as well. Doing this practice. Okay, so now that you've got that idea, I would definitely take the time to do some research on a number of different mantras that you can use. As I said, you can use affirmations as well, whatever works for you, depending on whatever goals you've set for yourself. I have found, and I'm going to make this recommendation, one of the things that I really enjoy is the guided meditations that are presented by the Chopra Center. If you're familiar with Deepak Chopra, he puts out a great deal of information on meditation. That's where I've got a lot of my information as well. And I'll be referencing some of the things that I've learned through their programs and things that they have. There's very, very useful mantras. Plus, if you ever get the opportunity, they put out, I think quarterly, they put out a 21-day meditation challenge. Trust me, when you do one of those, it really steps up your meditation practice. They say that it takes 21 days to develop a new habit. Well, I can say that the 21-day meditation challenge really helps to develop a regular meditation practice. And you get a great deal of really helpful and interesting mantras from that as well. And quite often, like your 21-day meditation challenge follows a theme. So all the mantras that are presented during the challenge are focusing and leading you towards a very specific goal. So I would definitely encourage you to look that up and give it a shot, because it's really quite wonderful. At least from my experience, it has been. All right. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is malas. Now, malas are prayer beads. Most malas are going to have 108 beads. Now, there's a lot of reasoning and education that goes behind the reason for using 108 beads. I am not that well versed in it to have it memorized. I'm keeping it, as I said, I'm keeping it simple for this right here, right now. So I'm not going to get into the explanation as to why there's 108 beads. What I'm going to focus on here is just basically how to use them effectively. Okay, so what we're going to do here, okay, is you want to take your beads and you put them in your dominant hand, and they go between your index finger and your middle finger. Okay, and you use your thumb as your counter. So as you say your mantra, okay, as you say your mantra, you're using your thumb to count them. So you're pulling the beads over your finger. So as you say, so hum. And the next one, so hum, so hum, so hum. And you do that for your 108 times. Now you don't have to do this many. This is just a really good practice. And as I said, do your research to find out why they use that number. For myself, I do make malas with the 108 beads, and that's not including spacers. There are spacers in there as well. You don't count those. You're counting the round beads as you're going through here. Okay. I make bracelets as well that can be used as prayer beads, but they're multiples of 9. 9 is that wonderful magic number. Okay, so as you are sitting and you are repeating your mantra, if you're not using a timer or if you're not using music or anything, we'll get into the music in a bit here. Then this is how you know when to begin and finish your meditation. There's going to be a specific bead, okay, that is going to be your starter bead, so that, because you're going to have your eyes closed as well, okay, so you're not really even looking at your mala, you're just counting. So hum, so hum, so hum, so hum. Support your beads with your non-dominant hand. So hum, so hum. So once you've gone through them and you've come around to that starting bead again, okay, that's when your meditation session is done. And once again, and especially if you're doing your eyes closed thing, you can once again warm up the eyes a little bit and open them when you're done. Now I'm going to talk briefly about selecting your prayer beads. There's a lot of different ones out there. Okay, they're quite often made with either glass beads or stones. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the ones that are most commonly used. Starts with an R, and I've tried to wrap my tongue around the pronunciation of these types of beads. They're really nice, neat little beads. And I did have some, and I have no idea where they are right now, because otherwise I'd show you what they look like. But they're wonderful little meditation beads that are quite often used as well. So these ones that I have, these ones are onyx and peridot. When shopping for your prayer beads, you can do it a couple of different ways. If you're looking for the beads to serve a specific purpose, like calming and soothing, or energizing, or enlightening, or whatever, that's when you want to look at a mineral list and look at the types of stones and decide what is going to serve my purpose, what is going to work best for me. When I selected these beads, I went into the shop with the mindset that I am going to get the mala that talks to me, kind of like the Harry Potter, the wand chooses the wizard kind of idea. And that's what I did with these. I looked over like the nice little selection of prayer beads that they had, and when I came to this one, it just it just felt so nice, and I thought they were so pretty. And when I touched them, they just felt so good. And one of my issues that I have a lot of trouble with is grounding. And onyx is very grounding. Um, Partly because it's a black stone, of course. Um, but one of the things that it does is it helps um, with calming down obsessive behavior. So what it does for me is I find it to be very relaxing and very comforting to me. And the green, of course, of the peridot, green being good for the old heart chakra. Okay, so when I saw these, and instantly, of course, the aesthetics of it, I thought, oh, that's so pretty, and it's got a nice little dragonfly on it here, and I just love dragonflies; they're so pretty. But yeah, I was just drawn to them. So you can do it that way as well. Go with what you're drawn to, because quite often you're drawn to what you need. So that's malas, and that's the basics on how to use them. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is music. Um, Music can be a really good focus as well. One thing to remember about the music is it needs to be ambient music. And what that basically means is it's a repeating pattern of notes and tunes um, that has no big crescendos or I don't know all of the musical terms. I'm not musically inclined. I'm more the artist. Um, but also what you're looking for is something that's not going to have any vocals. Vocals are things that you want to use for guided journeys, and we'll get into that in a little bit here. Now, I don't know if you've been able to hear any of this. I've got it on very, very low. Right now, I'm playing some ambient music that I found on YouTube that is put out by a channel called Quiet Quest. I would definitely recommend it because it is like this one that I'm listening to right now says music for concentration and focus while studying. And it goes for quite a while. This particular set of music is approximately 3 hours. So if you're sitting and doing an activity and all you need is that nice calming and soothing background music, because it is very, very calming, very soothing. It's just a nice background sound. Um, and it's, like I said, it's not jarring. It's repetitive sound. Um, this is the type of music that you want for your meditation. And once again, it's just another tool for focus. Okay? Now, as I mentioned before, the only time you want vocals is if you are actually going through a guided journey. And I'm going to touch a little bit on that. I'm not going to take you through a whole guided journey. This video is just simply for educational purposes. I definitely want you to take the time to do your research and look for things that really speak to you, that you are comfortable with, that you like, that you enjoy, that you feel you really connect with. Because there are some of the things that I really love and enjoy that you might not connect with. So, what I'm going to start with here is I'm going to talk about the purpose of guided journeys. Um, Guided journeys are basically very goal oriented. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an example that I've used myself several times when I have led guided journeys for others. I have done meditation workshops, but I've also done different types of classes and workshops where I've included a guided journey as basically the icing on the cake kind of thing. Because sometimes, education can get a little dry, and it really helps if you provide people with an example that they can relate to. So, quite often the guided journeys, like I said, they're goal oriented. They have a very specific goal in mind, usually designed for healing or spiritual growth. For example, I'm going to give a couple of examples. A guided journey that takes you into a past life to figure out the root source or cause of particular behavior that you want to release or modify. That is very, very useful. Remembering that even though you're taking on a guided journey and somebody else is doing the talking and guiding you, you always have control. At any time, you can pull yourself out of there if you are not feeling comfortable with it, okay, or if it's not working for you, all right? The spiritual growth is one that I'm going to focus on here with the example that I've used many times. What I've done is especially at the dark time of the year, from Samhain, which is Halloween, up to Yule. That is the best time to do what we would call a crone meditation. And this one in particular, I've got from a wonderful book, Maiden Mother Crone by D.J. Conway. And it begins, of course, with taking the participants on a journey into the realm of the crone, and you receive a message from her. It's a wonderful, wonderful meditation. It is a wonderful journey. And the images and things that you see are given to you by the crone, by the goddess herself. Even though I'm reading and guiding you, there's a section or a point in here where the goddess, where I am telling them, the goddess is speaking to you. She has a message for you. What is she saying to you? Take the time to listen to her. And there's a pause where you receive your message. So even though you may be engaged in a guided journey, there is always that little portion of it, of those guided meditations, where you are receiving your personal messages, whether it's from God or goddess, whether it's from a spirit guide, whether it's from an angel, whatever. That part is exclusively yours. So this is one of the reasons why I find that being able to go on a meditation journey, a guided meditation journey, can be very exciting and enlightening and insightful. As far as sources go, when you've got a book like this, okay, where it's outlined in the book, unless you've got somebody else who's going to read that to you and take you through it, what you might want to do is do a recording for yourself, reading it yourself. And remember to give yourself in those gaps where you're supposed to be reading or receiving your messages, you want to leave that little bit of time, just a few minutes, even if it's just 5 minutes of silence where you would receive your messages. Make sure you include that little gap in there. And like I said myself, I have no concept of time. But when you're making a recording like this, you don't even have to set a timer, as long as you've got like your phone where you can watch the minutes kind of thing, at least on the recording, it's going to have the appropriate gap. Okay. And of course, for the person who is doing the reading, who is taking you on the journey, they're not going through the journey themselves. That's for you. Okay. So when it comes to the guided journeys, you either want to have somebody that you trust, make a recording yourself, or get a CD or a digital copy of some kind of guided journey that sings to you, that gives you the goal or the purpose that you're looking for, kind of thing. These can be very powerful tools, like I said, for healing or spiritual growth. Okay, so that's all that I really wanted to talk about today. Obviously, I don't have all the answers, and certainly when you're just putting it into a small time frame, I obviously am not going to be able to give you all the answers. So if you have any questions about anything, please make sure to make a comment. You can shoot me an email, which I'll be giving at the end of this as well. I have a few other instructional or basic information videos that I'm going to be creating as well. If you've got any ideas, please shoot me some ideas, some things that you want to learn about, that you want to know about, what kind of information and details. Please let me know, and I'll do whatever I can to provide you with the information that you need. Okay? Well, I hope this was helpful for you. So you go forward, enjoy your meditation practice. Have a great day. If you found this video to be helpful to you, then please like, please share, please subscribe. If you have any ideas or suggestions or comments, please leave a comment. And if you feel that this content was extremely valuable to you and you wish to make a monetary gift or a donation, please feel free to do so by sending an e-transfer to wellinwisdom@hotmail.ca. Thank you so much for watching. You have a great day.